not always beautiful out on a boat, that's for sure. Sometimes, though, the fishing can be pretty good. I'll show you a couple of clips from when fishing was better than the weather is now. Here at the new dock, I've noticed that there's an awful lot of bait fish swimming around, so I got out my trusty cast net to see if I could wrangle some of them up. The problem was that these fish were very small and they were going right through the holes in the net. Well, most of them. I was only able to get a few small fish, but that's really all I needed. Now let's see if we can get something to eat. Wait, nope, that's not what I was after. That's a needlefish. There's a lot of those guys under the docks too. They can be pesky. This was what I was targeting. That's a snook, hanging out right where the shadow line is. Early in the morning, the dock casts a shadow, and those fish hang out right on the edge. I figured after I put one of these little fish on a hook, I would definitely be able to catch one. Of course, that's how fishing is, isn't it? It's not always catching. Certainly is a cool place to waste some time, though. I was beginning to think that there were no fish here at all. That what I was seeing was just a figment of my imagination. And then... oh my god, dude, that was a tarpon. That, my friends, was a tarpon. Well, seems there are fish here. How about that? I'm freaking out a little bit. Make sure my drag is nice and tight. Wow, there's a big bait pod right there. My wounded piece of bait is drifting right through it, right where that tarpon jumped. Ooh, my bait is gone. I gotta catch no fish like that. Ooh, that bait pod is still right there. There's the bait pod is on the outside of where my bobber is. My bobber's going right towards it. My bait's up on the surface. He looks nervous. Holy crapola. Got him. Oh boy, this is a green fish. I'm gonna have to let him play for a little bit, I think. Heavy. And I got 15-pound test on, 20-pound leader. This is gonna be a hard fish to land. Oh man, it's nice and heavy though. Hopefully it doesn't go under those propellers on my boat. Oh. Come here. Try to walk him around this way. Nope, no, he's going right from my boat. No. And he's off. My hair is standing up. Man. I think I'm gonna like it here. I definitely like it here. There's an awful lot of fish hanging around all the time. The downside is, though, that it's very distracting and it's hard to get any work done. Fortunately, though, occasionally the weather rolls in, it rains, and there's nothing to do but to hang out in the cabin and do some editing. I used to hate when it rained because the roof would leak at my house. Now, I don't mind at all. And when the weather clears up, I can go out and do some fishing. On this day, I got out on the bass raider with my friend Chad. There he is hooking up with a gar. That's the first time I'd ever seen one so close up. That's a crazy looking thing. Its skin was really, really rough. Go. Good thing about it, they don't This was not the type of fish you wanted to put your finger inside their lips. That was pretty cool. Now it was my turn. Thank you, Chad, for holding the camera.
Better bow to the king, son. Oh, son! Hot diggity damn!
You can take the other line in. Oh man, he's just sitting right there.
That's a good one, dude. Anyway, look at that.
I'm not quite sure who was more excited, Chad or me.
Oh!
This was looking like it might be the very first time I get to land one of these fish. It felt like I was going to have a heart attack. I was very tempted to grab a hold of this fish, but I also knew that he was probably not done yet. And again, he looked like he was spent, but there was a lot of treble hooks right next to his mouth. I wanted to hold the tarpon, but I also didn't want to get messed up by those treble hooks.
Hey, bud.
You broke the... Well, it wasn't the most productive day in the world, but I had an awful lot of fun fishing for those tarpon with Chad. I went back to my place and got a new Sebile lure. Then I took my kayak down to my friend Todd's place. He's the one that makes those round boats. This here is a brand new Pelican Catch 100. I picked this up at iCast in Orlando. Something tells me this is going to be a really cool, fun boat. 10 foot, more my size. I took it out upriver, hunting for those big stupid fish. When I know there's tarpon around, I find myself holding my breath. I feel like I haven't breathed for a long time now. tarpon fishing is going to be the death of me. I don't know, with tarpon, they're just such big pains in the butt.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to change the name of my Facebook page from Love Kayak Fishing to Love Kayak Catching, because this fishing stuff is for the birds, man. I do an awful lot of fishing. I need to brush up on my catching.
Don't we all?
I guess the search continues. I spent a couple days here outside my friend's dock. I saw a lot of tarpon rolling on the surface, but I couldn't get any to take a lure. A little bit of live bait might have helped that day. Who knows? They continue to be my unicorns, or leprechauns, or whatever you call it. So I went back to the dock, and I fished a little bit more with the little live bait that I caught with my cast net. I was able to wrangle up a few at a time and fish with them as I needed them. I was beginning to think, though, that the fish were a little bit smarter than me. Until later that night, I tied the Sebile lure back on, and I was able to get a few more jumps. I guess it helped an awful lot that that lure looked just like those little fish down there. I was matching the hatch. I'll get you someday, tarpon. And although the fish liked it, it seemed I still couldn't get one hooked well enough to get him back to the dock. I've already jumped one. Now they're teasing me right here. Look at that. See him out there? There's a lot of tarpon here. That's the only reason I was out here fishing these mangroves around sundown. Because I usually know better because of these guys. And I think at this point I was already getting eaten up by them. There's a lot of freaking bugs out here too. Oh, man, I just got a bite just now. If the bite wasn't so hot, there's no way I would have been out here. You can see actually me like swatting at the bugs. Look at the tarpon there, dude. And the bait is running scared. I saw bait jumping out of the water there, so I knew something was chasing them. One of these days, tarpon, I will get you. Those bugs were getting in my mouth. They were getting in my eyes. The things we do for fishing. Look at them. Yeah, right there. That was a happy fish too. Even though I was seeing these tarpon rolling right in front of me, I was beginning to think that they were stuff of fairy tales. Impossible to catch. Leprechauns. Well, I guess if there's a life lesson here to be learned with fishing, it's never to give up. Oh, I mean, man. Oh, man. Oh, gee. Quite a night, man. Got my hooks. Yep. Well, I kept fishing well into the night, but I didn't land a tarpon, so they continue to be my leprechauns. One of these days I'll land one though. In the meantime, thank you guys for sticking with me, watching my videos, and coming along on all my adventures. I'll see you next time.